Hello and welcome back to the MLTI podcast, Teaching with Tech. Thank you to everyone who joined us in Season 1, and we couldn't be more excited to be back with Season 2. We've got some new faces, new voices, and new ideas that we are really excited to share with all of you. For those who are joining the podcast for the first time, let me introduce myself. My name is Joshua Schmidt, and I am an MLTI Ambassador with the MLTI team here at the Maine Department of Education. The 10 MLTI Ambassadors are all in the Distinguished Educator position, which is a 2-year temporary role where we support technology integration and design at the department before returning to our schools after the 2-year cycle has ended. That means this year we have 5 new ambassadors joining the team, and they are all extremely excited to help schools and teachers all over Maine. This season will follow a similar cycle to last year. Most months will have a specific theme with 2 episodes focusing on that theme each month. You'll hear from the MLTI team, educators from the field, and a few special guests along the way. We will continue publishing Community Corner bonus episodes as well as a few new ideas that I am very excited to share when they're ready. This month is going to serve as our podcast kickoff, so this episode will preview the new team and some of the projects for the upcoming year. I would invite you to check out our previous episodes from Season 1 that covered a wide variety of topics from AI integration, digital citizenship, all of the way to gamification in the classroom. We try to keep those episodes away from being time sensitive to make sure they're valuable whether you're listening on the day they release or coming back to them later. And if you're listening today and wondering how the team can support you or your school, don't hesitate to reach out at doe-ltt@maine.gov.
One word to describe the MLTI team is collaborative.
One word I would use to describe the MLTI team is collaborative.
Collaborative, because we work together on all projects and we're always willing to help and encourage one another.
Because not only do we collaborate with educators, schools, and districts, but we also collaborate with each other to teach and learn new things ourselves.
Everyone is willing to contribute to a project, but also everyone is willing to let you contribute to their project.
One word to describe the MLTI team is excited.
Excited.
Everyone in the team is so enthusiastic about sharing their talents.
We are excited to help you, we are excited to learn, and we are excited to work with one another.
These are some incredibly talented educators, some of the best educators I've ever worked with in my career. And they are just so pumped to be able to help teachers, help schools, help districts all over Maine.
One word to describe the MLTI team is versatile.
One word to describe the MLTI team is passionate.
Everyone brings unique gifts to the table, and they're excited to share them with amazing results.
Because of all the time and focus that these educators are putting into creating amazing content for teachers and administrators and schools throughout Maine.
I'm very excited to be joined today by Donna and Nicole, 2 of my fellow ambassadors. Would you each take a minute to introduce yourselves and talk about what school system you're coming from?
Hi, Josh. So I'm Donna Netzer, and I've come to you from Princeton Elementary School, so in Washington County, and I am a Year 1 ambassador.
And my name is Nicole K-Rod, and I'm coming from MSAD 75, and I work out of Mount Ararat Middle School, and I'm a Year 2 ambassador.
So we view this episode kind of as a follow-up to last year's episode titled, What Are MLTI Ambassadors? Because we want to be able to help teachers and schools in the field to understand both what we do on a daily basis, but also how we can support, those schools and educators. But each of you are in a different role, Nicole being a second-year ambassador and Donna being a first-year ambassador. So can we start with Nicole? Talk about being a Year 2 ambassador and what projects you're working on at the beginning of the year and kind of how that's been different from where you started last year.
Absolutely. So, as we start the year this year, I am planning for conferences. We'll have a large presence at Actum as well as Mammal, and those conferences are coming up in October. So, I'm really looking forward to doing some professional development there. We're all looking forward to working with the field. So we've been reaching out and refreshing contacts that we had last year, as well as making new ones. And then we're onboarding a new group of ambassadors. So we're really excited to have 5 new people join us this year. It's an amazing group, and they bring a wide range of talent that we're excited to bring to the field this year. So, Donna, as a first year ambassador coming into this program, how do you think your school will benefit from your new role with MLTI?
So, being from Washington County, like I mentioned before, we are in a rural community. And so that a lot of times will mean that we have lots of roles that we play. Because of the flexibility of the ambassador program, I am able to keep some of the things on my plate. So I didn't just take off all my hats and put a big load on other people. I can be helpful with some of the small tasks. And it puts our name out there too, as you know, knowing that there's a distinguished educator that came from that region and that school. And so it just kind of benefits us to be able to make more connections than we typically have had in the past.
I also think that it's super interesting because I've also only taught in small schools throughout my career. And I think a lot of times, like, a small school doesn't understand how great the work that they're doing is. And I remember one of my favorite parts of last year is finding opportunities for people that I've worked with for years that are doing incredible work in their classroom, finding ways to shine a light on that or raise a platform or be extra supportive. So I think that is super interesting how you coming from, Washington County, and how, me coming from China Middle School, it's a very similar feeling in kind of the jump into this position. What do you see as kind of a big difference of maybe the ambassadors who work in larger school districts versus yourself working in a smaller one?
I feel like this is a huge lifeline between our area, our school, and what's out there. And I'm very excited about that piece. For me, I come from my home school. They raised me as a student. They also raised me as a teacher. It's where I've been. So it's just a different dynamic coming in. I kind of compare myself to the Lorax. I speak for the rural. So I'm my own Lorax, I guess. Coming from a smaller school, in our building, we often say we need to hear from the lower grades and the upper grades because we're pre-K through 8. And we need each other's perspective. Well, I see that now on a grander scale, where now we need the perspective of a larger school to pair with the perspective of a smaller school so that we create something dynamic for our teachers in Maine that encompasses so much more. So, Nicole, I would love to hear your feedback on, how does that compare or contrast with that big school perspective?
Yeah, I think you bring up such a good point. We have in the state of Maine, we have such a wide range, all the way from like county where it's, very rural, you have small schools, to we've got, school districts in Portland and Cape Elizabeth. We have this wide range, and our goal as ambassadors is really to bring equity across the state. And that might be bringing professional development to larger or smaller schools so that all teachers are ready and they're experiencing the newest things like AI and education. We want our students and our teachers in our state to have as many opportunities, and we're here to help reach out with what we're doing.
I just think in terms of, viewing the differences between like district size, understanding like some districts have like a technology integration specialist and some schools don't. Sometimes that technology integration person has a full course load all through the day, and other times they have multiple avenues. And I think one of the things that I've really enjoyed about this position is that while support looks different for different teachers, different content areas, different grade levels, different sizes, we are able to support across that whole range, and being able to kind of figure out a system that works for you and your school. One of the reasons why we developed this podcast at the beginning was trying to find opportunities to connect with people in Maine that we can be helpful and supportive over. So I would love to close up this segment today to just talk about a few different things or situations where an MLTI ambassador could be helpful. So let's start with Donna. Give a few ideas or suggestions on where you think that our team could be helpful in the short term.
If you find yourself needing that and person, that extra person who can come in and support the technology integration, connect with us so we can work on that. If you need something virtual, I speak from Washington County where we're a long distance from everything. We can work on those needs as well. We can work on smaller professional development needs like going to a staff meeting or providing videos for that, or larger ones as well. So we can tailor it to what you need as a school. We set goals with you.
I love that. I think, some of the beauty of our team is that, and this program is that we have many perspectives and experiences. So as the other MLTI ambassadors introduce themselves throughout this episode, you'll see that there are a variety of those things. And so reaching out to us for things like professional development, whether it's at your school or at the state level, or conferences, things like that, those are things that we're going to have the experience and the perspectives to do what you need. Reach out. We want that. We want to hear your voice, and we want to highlight what's going on in your classroom, and just do amazing things with you so that our students across the state of Maine can do amazing things.
I also feel it's important to communicate with people that we're not just going to bring in a technology, dump it in your lap. It's not going to be just another thing on your plate. We're coming as a team member to support what you need in your classroom.
Well, thank you both so much. I'm obviously really biased, but I truly and genuinely believe in this team, and the new ambassadors we brought on this year are just phenomenal. And so I would just add that if you don't know the person to reach out to, you just have a question. One of the things that we can really do is get you to that person, whether it's somebody on our team or another member of the department. There are tons of great programs, tons of great people, and we can be a little bit of that intermediary to help you get that help and assistance you need to help improve your school, your classroom, and your design.
And Josh, we're fresh from the field. I'm headed back in. Our new ambassadors are coming out. We know what you're experiencing.
Great point. Thank you both again so much. We're going to take a short break, and then we are going to be joined by Jonathan R. Werner.
Hi, my name is AJ Rogg. I'm a first-year MLTI ambassador. My home school is Lyman Moore Middle School in Portland, Maine.
My name is Donna Netzer, and I'm a teacher from Princeton Elementary School.
My name is Tracy Williamson, and I'm a music teacher from Gorham Middle School.
I'm Yu Hong Sun. I'm a second-year MLTI ambassador.
My name is Gwyneth McGuire, and I'm a technology integrationist and librarian at Old Orchard Beach High School.
I've taught all subjects.
I was a computer science teacher and a Chinese language teacher at Noble High School for 18 years.
I've been involved in education in one way or another for over 25 years. I was a technology integrator at Cape Elizabeth Schools and Noble MSAD 60.
I have taught for 28 years in middle schools, teaching media arts, technology, computer science, and 3D printing.
I have taught steel band, music, and chorus with an emphasis on technology integration to maximize the short amount of time I have with students in our middle school schedule.
My name is Chris Beckwith, and I'm the Technology Integration Specialist at Reedsbrook Middle School in Hamden.
My name is Nicole K-Rod, and I'm a teacher at Mount Ararat Middle School in MSAD 75.
My name is Joshua Schmidt, and I'm a middle school math teacher at China Middle School. Go Clippers.
My name is Jeff Ireland. I'm a Year 1 ambassador. I'm a middle school math teacher and science teacher at Oak Hill Middle School in RSU 4.
My name is Martha Thibodeau, and I am the District Technology Training Coordinator from the Mount Blue Regional School District in Farmington.
I've been in education for 27 years.
I've taught science, algebra, health, and technology.
I've taught science and math.
I've also been a special ed teacher, an assistant principal, and a principal.
What are your passions?
My passions in education include physical science and pretty much any aspect of technology, particularly how it can be leveraged to make our jobs easier.
My passions in education are increasing student engagement and then using that increased engagement to do something that's authentic learning.
And my passion areas in education are artificial intelligence, gamification, and supporting all students.
Technology and relationships with students and staff so that we have a good school climate.
My passion is to promote computational thinking in K-12 education.
I would love to see every student in Maine have the opportunity to be able to experience and work with computer science, doing coding.
Project-based learning, STEAM-based learning, game-based learning, gamification.
Student engagement, blended learning, student-led learning, game-based learning.
My passions in education are media arts, so video and audio creation and editing and graphic design, as well as project-based and interdisciplinary learning.
I love 3D modeling and showing students how they can take an idea from their head and hold it in their hand. I also love integrating art and music and exposing students to interactive virtual reality.
Welcome back to Teaching with Tech, the MLTI podcast. During this episode, you've met the Ambassador team, heard some of the projects the team is working on, as well as some of the things we're excited to bring you over the course of this year. And I could think of no better way to close out this episode than bringing on a familiar face. Rejoining the team in a new role this year is Jonathan R. Werner. So Jonathan, welcome back to the team and to the podcast. Could you start by talking to us about why you were excited to rejoin the team in this new role and how that role is looking to evolve throughout the year?
First of all, thank you so much for having me back. I, as you know, love talking about the Ambassador Program, so much so that I have, as you said, rejoined the team. My new title is MLTI Ambassador Program Facilitator, which almost did not fit on my business card, but we managed to get it going. And the role is intended to provide an opportunity to connect all the different moving parts and the pieces of this program under one coordinating person so that it can really maximize the effectiveness of the team. So as you may remember, I had 2 years as an ambassador coming from Cape Elizabeth, and when the opportunity arose to return in this role, I jumped at it because I love working with this team. I'm very passionate about high quality professional development that pertains to and addresses issues of meaningful tech integration. And so having a chance to really step into a sphere where I feel like really influence a wide range of teachers' experiences across Maine is so great. And one of the ways we envision doing that is having me serve as kind of an 11th ambassador at times. But the primary role is really just to make sure that the 10 people you've just heard from are in the best possible position to be able to do the best work. I'm really excited to see how over the course of the coming year, this role evolves into a real facilitator position where I'm offering people the opportunity to do what they do so well, to get experienced classroom teachers working with experienced classroom teachers who for this short period of time are stepping into a role of a broader professional development capacity. But to me, there is nothing better about this program than its ability to bring people into training and into conversation with like-minded, similarly positioned colleagues. And to be able to offer as much of that support as I can and to make that happen in as many places as possible is really just about as great a job as I can imagine having.
Well, and one of the things that I've always really appreciated about the program, but I can understand being a challenge for you in the new role, is how flexible and willing to evolve the team has been, that we really do try to be receptive to what the field needs. So thinking about this from someone who's been listening to this episode, and maybe they're hearing projects from ambassadors that they're really excited about, but they're not exactly sure, like, what is that next step? What is the connection? So I was wondering if you could offer some suggestions for listeners who are maybe excited to connect the dots on those ideas, or maybe ideas that they've been thinking about themselves that they think would match with what the team is capable of doing, but matching that to high quality professional development, in their own school with their own teachers. Do you have any suggestions on that?
So I think as you said, Josh, the sense of flexibility is both a boon and a bane. And in the great aspect of it, you have 10 people who are from not every corner, we wish that they were, but from many corners of the state who you may run into in various capacities in various places. And we're so delighted to have you reach out to those people. So all 11 ambassadors will be at Actum in a couple weeks, and a great chance to just connect one-on-one with any of those people and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? We'll provide an email, of course, to connect. And if you'd like to reach out directly to me, we'll put my contact information in the show notes. But the sense of really ad hoc work is one of our best ways to connect. On the other end of the spectrum, we've had really coordinated efforts, district-wide or building-wide professional development opportunities. Sometimes we do it in conjunction with students. Sometimes we do it in just the context of a faculty, maybe a single district or multiple districts. But what we really want to focus on is having it be responsive. Whatever method you use to reach out, whether it's to one of the individuals or to me, isn't really the key question. The key question is, what do you need? And we'll figure out how to meet that need.
As we close out, I was wondering if you could highlight a couple of examples that you think represent the type of connections our listeners could anticipate, as well as collaborations, within their own schools.
So I think a great place to start for those of you that feel like, what would I even ask these people to do, might be our YouTube channel. We have a bunch of asynchronous professional development there. That's a great place to even just treat it like a buffet. Oh, maybe I would want to learn more about that or more about this. So one really easy place is to begin with that playlist of work that we've done. I think we're at 100 or just over 100 different episodes that provide a huge range of professional development. So that might be a place to kind of get inspired or feel excited about something. But I mentioned a moment ago the kinds of professional development we've given, and I'll just give two very specific examples quickly. In Westbrook last year, we had the chance to bring in some people from neighboring Gorham and provide a building-wide, and in some cases pulling from multiple buildings, series of 45-minute sessions that took an entire afternoon. And it was fantastic. Several of us were there, and we really were so delighted to be integrated into existing professional development that the district was already doing. On the other end, we went all the way up to Caribou and did kind of a highly tech integrated day with students and used that as a chance to help teach teachers how to support that work, again, pulling from several districts around Caribou. And that was just as rewarding and just as exciting. At the core of any of that work must be, that our kids are learning differently and learning better. So what we would love to do is break the connection between professional development and boredom, professional development and what is the point of this, and instead make professional development all about changing your practice so your kids' experiences are changed as well. And if that's the work we're doing, if that's what is our legacy as a program, I can't imagine anything I could be prouder of.
Well, I can think of no better advocate for this program. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure listeners of this podcast will hear from you many times again over the course of this year. But as Jonathan said, if you see us out at conferences, especially in October, come by, say hi, chat to us about what you're thinking, what some of your ideas are. We would love to be able to work with you. Once again, Jonathan, thank you so much and have a great day.
Right now, I am currently learning about artificial intelligence and all things to do with AI. It's amazing, it's upcoming, it's here to stay, and we need to embrace it.
Right now, I'm learning about podcasting in the classroom, artificial intelligence and how it can save teachers time, and the intersection between social emotional learning and media arts.
Right now, I'm learning about artificial intelligence, The fascinating field of AI is growing at a pace that makes it nearly impossible for humans to keep up with the potential risks. I'm very interested in how to safely use AI as an educational tool while acknowledging the current limitations and liabilities.
Right now I'm learning about digital escape rooms and breakout rooms and how you can use those in a classroom to gamify, but also to kind of break the typical pattern of lecture and practice.
This year, I look forward to getting out into schools, meeting teachers, meeting administrators, and seeing how I can best assist them in enhancing any and all of their curriculum.
This year, I'm looking forward to projects that foster student engagement and those that will provide the opportunity to transform learning through activities that have not been part of a teacher's toolbox in the past.
This year, I'm looking forward to sharing information with other educators about media arts and SEL, and hopefully helping others to realize the powerful potential of media arts integration in all content areas.
I'm looking forward to the student conference, both virtual and in person.
This year, I'm looking forward to the MLTI podcast, Teaching with Tech, the most because it is one of our opportunities on team for all of us to work together as much as possible.
I made 6 videos last year and published them online. I think that this is an efficient way to reach and help more teachers.
I'm also looking forward to collaborating with teachers and teacher teams on innovative and relevant projects in the classroom.
Thank you to all of my fellow MLTI ambassadors for joining me in today's episode, as well as thank you to Jonathan R. Werner for joining us too. Whether you're returning to the podcast after season 1 or joining us fresh in season 2, we want to hear from you. You can contact the MLTI and LTT teams at the Maine Department of Education by emailing us at doe-ltt@maine.gov. Whether you know exactly what you're looking for or just curious how the team can support your district, school, or classroom, don't be afraid to reach out. Before we ended today, I wanted to point out a few projects the team will be working on in October. We will be returning to our normal schedule of 2 episodes of Teaching with Tech each month, with October being our first theme. We will also be busy delivering statewide professional development, with the team having a strong presence at Actum's 36th Annual Education Technology Conference in Augusta, the ATMNE Regional Conference for Mathematics in Portland, and the Maine Association for Middle Level Education, MAML, Conference in Waterville. We would love to chat or just say hi if you see us at any of those events. That being said, we definitely still have time available for regional or district professional development while continuing to support teachers as much as possible. Now, in honor of Rob Dominic, I'm going to keep ending the episodes with a dad joke, even though the credit for this one goes to Nicole. Why couldn't 4 talk to 5? Because he was too squared. Class dismissed.